Tell me about yourself and why you want to become a paraprofessional/teacher.
My name is Phoebe Sweeney, and I took an Intro to Education course, which really sparked my interest into teaching or being a paraprofessional. I spent time in 5 different classrooms in the district. I spent time in first grade classes, 2 of them, a kindergarten class, a second grade class, and ended in a third grade class last semester. And I really enjoyed getting to work with all the students and get to know them, as well as learning about teaching through my CT that I had in each classroom.
You mentioned spending time in various classrooms. Tell me your most positive experience in a classroom.
My most positive experience was when I ended my first rotation with a first grade class, which I then went back to this semester. There was 2 students who came up to me and asked me if it was my last day, and when I told them it was, they told me that they really loved having me there, and they gave me a hug, and that just really showed that you can build relationships with students in even just a short amount of time, and it really showed that I have an impact in them as a teacher, and that made me really enjoy the profession.
Give us an example of something you've done in your classroom that you're proud of and indicative of who you are as a teacher.
I stayed and helped on the 101st day of school for my first grade class. I was really proud of the fact that I chose to stay that day because it was a very hectic day. I was able to lead a station. My CT had me lead the Counting by 10 station, where the students had different bags of materials and they would dump them out and then put them in groups of 10 and then count the leftovers and then fill out a sheet. And I was proud that I was able to help each student understand what we were supposed to do and help them if they needed help with the counting or anything. And I was very proud of getting to see them learn that and work hard.
What are your organizational skills like?
I don't like having a messy workspace. I like to keep everything very together and make sure it's not all over the place so that I can find what I need and still have everything ready for each day.
And why do you think that is important for a teacher?
I think that's important because if you have your stuff all over the place, you're not going to be able to find what you need, and that might look bad for students who see you like struggling to find your materials every day. They might see you as maybe not as professional of a person and not look up to you as much.
Our parents are very involved, and our teachers are very skilled at using their talents in their classroom. Please tell us how you would utilize parents in your classroom.
I would make sure that every parent knew what we were up to. In my observation class right now, my CT sends out a newsletter every week, and I think that's a very good way to keep parents informed on what's happening in the classroom and let them know what's up and coming in the next week. And I would also make sure if there's any parents who want to help out in the classroom, I would offer opportunities for them to volunteer or donate or anything into the classroom so that they can be involved as much as they would like.
Okay, say you are out on the playground supervising your class and another teacher's class. You see 2 students yelling at each other. As you approach the 2 students, you hear one of them call the other a derogatory name that is a racial slur. What do you do and why?
I would pull the students aside and talk to them both individually and make sure they both understood that the situation was not appropriate for school. And then the student who used the racial slur towards the other student, I would make sure that they got the rightful punishment that they deserved by taking them to the office and having the principal understand that situation as well and then punish them from there.
What qualities do you see in your cooperating teacher that you want to take into your own classroom and why?
I have seen her she is very fun and loving, and she loves to have fun activities for her students. Just this past week, she did a reading activity with penguins. They've been learning a lot about penguins because of the season, and she put on a hat that was like a penguin stocking cap, and all the students were so excited about it. And then she read a book about penguins and how they keep their eggs, like how they get their eggs ready to hatch and how they're prepared for that. And so she gave the students each an egg. All the girl students got an egg, and they put it in their leg, and then they mimicked how the girl penguins passed the egg to the boy penguins and then huddled up for winter, and then they gave them back once they hatched for the female penguins to take care of them.
Tell us about a time you had to adapt to a wide variety of people by accepting/understanding their perspective.
I feel like I've seen that from this teaching experiences that I've had this semester as well. I was at a school that was more of a wealthier school, and then I went to a Title I school, so it was I had to change the way that I viewed the school. I didn't understand, or I didn't have the experience at a Title I school prior to this, since it was my first school being there, and I observed things very differently. They had a different routine and different schedule, and so I had to adapt to that and see how things were different each day in a Title I school versus a non-Title I school.
And lastly, what experience do you have working in a diverse population, and how would you promote acceptance, tolerance, and diversity in your class?
The classroom that I'm in is a very diverse class. There's many students, there's 25 of them, and they all come from different backgrounds. There's one student who just moved here from Vietnam, I believe, at the beginning of this school year, and she knew no English, and I've been helping her a lot to make sure she's getting her work done, and I've noticed that the students that are in her class have been very inclusive of them, and I want to make sure that I learn from my CT how she had her students implement kindness and encouragement towards the students, since she was not from America and didn't know things that were from here, because all of the students are very caring for her, and they all are proud of her when she does something, like say a word in English that she's never said before, or do her work, or do a new drawing, because she loves to draw. And I just want to make sure that I can learn from my CT how she helped her students and encourage them to do that as well.